8 News starts now with breaking news.
You said in that scenario, quote, 2 bullets, Gilbert would get 2 bullets to the head. What were you thinking?
Breaking news tonight as your local election headquarters speaks exclusively with Jay Jones. The Democratic nominee for Attorney General is coated in controversy because of old text messages he sent saying former House Speaker Todd Gilbert should get, quote, 2 bullets to the head. You're watching 8 News at 11. I'm Eric Phillips. Heather is off tonight. We've been tracking the fallout all day. Just hours ago, Jay Jones drove all the way from Norfolk to speak exclusively with our Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander here in studio. You'll see that interview in just a moment. But first, we're breaking down what led up to all of this. According to the National Review, around 8 a.m. on the morning of August 8th in 2022, Jones texted Republican delegate Carrie Coyner, "If those guys die before me," referring to Republican lawmakers, "I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves." Jones's messages then turned to Republican House Speaker Todd Gilbert. Jones said, quote, "Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head." Jones went on to say, spoiler, "Put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time." Meanwhile, the National Review reports that after the text messages, Jones called Coyner and said, quote, he wished Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views as they pertain to gun violence. Today, Coyner told 8 News these messages are authentic and said, "On August 8th, 2022, I had a text conversation with Jay Jones. What he said was not just disturbing, but disqualifying for anyone who wants to seek public office." Jay Jones wished violence on the children of a colleague and joked about shooting Todd Gilbert. It's disgusting and unbecoming of any public official. Now, we want to get straight to Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander live in studio tonight. And Tyler, what did Jones have to say?
Well, Eric, Jones told me today that he was, quote, sick to his stomach when he read what he wrote back in 2022 and called the language, quote, unacceptable and abhorrent. One of the text messages mentions 3 people: Todd Gilbert, the former Republican Speaker of the House; Hitler, a man who's responsible for killing 6 million Jews; and then a Cambodian dictator who's also responsible for the death of over 1 million people. You said in that scenario, quote, 2 bullets, Gilbert would get 2 bullets to the head. What were you thinking?
You know, Tyler, thank you for having me and for giving me the opportunity to apologize. And I sincerely and from the bottom of my heart want to express my remorse and my regret for what happened and what I said. That language has no place in our discourse, and I am so remorseful for what happened. I actually reached out to Speaker Gilbert this afternoon to apologize to him and to Jennifer and to their children, because I know that they are angry and furious, and they are well within all of their bounds to feel that way, because what I said was unacceptable, and I accept responsibility for that. And I want them to know, and I want the people of Virginia to know, that I am so deeply, deeply embarrassed, and that I understand the gravity of what I said, and I am so apologetic for it from the bottom of my heart.
In this election, you're asking Virginians to vote for a man who compared his political opponents to mass murderers. Isn't that type of rhetoric disqualifying for someone who's seeking statewide office here in Virginia?
Well, the rhetoric has no place on our landscape, no place in our discourse, and again, for that, I am deeply, deeply sorry. I should have never done it. It's very embarrassing to me, and certainly I regret it.
The National Review's article, which came out today, says after those text messages were sent to Carrie Coyner, you picked up the phone and called her. You said, according to the article, I'm quoting, Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views. Did you say that?
Bottom line is that the language is unacceptable. And again, I deeply, deeply, deeply wish that it hadn't happened. I have spent the entire day really regretting all of it. And I certainly wish that it hadn't happened. And I'm sick to my stomach when I read those words. And certainly they're objectionable, they're abhorrent, they have no place in Virginia, no place in this country's discourse. And so, again, I am so deeply, deeply sorry.
A lot of politics is about trust. I can think of nothing more horrific than a mother having to hold her dying child. How can Virginians trust a man who said something so horrific, so callously?
Well, again, I am so deeply, deeply sorry for what I said, and I wish that it hadn't happened, and I would take it back if I could. And again, I know that Todd and Jennifer and their family are feeling all sorts of warranted feelings toward me, and that's why, again, why I reached out. And I want them to understand that I wish that I hadn't done it. I wish I hadn't said it.
And now I asked Jones if he was planning on dropping out of the race after these text messages came to light. He said his campaign would continue on.
Certainly he wanted folks to know that he feels remorse, that he is sorry. The question, though, tonight, just weeks before Election Day, how consequential is all of this?
Well, Eric, as you know, there is a saying in politics called the October surprise. It's when something comes out negative about a candidate, and we just don't know in this situation what's going to happen at the polls. As you mentioned, Virginians are already voting. Early voting lasts 45 days here in Virginia. We'll see what effect it has as we come later down toward November.
The October surprise, something we did not expect today, however. Tyler Englander, thank you very much for that exclusive report.
Of course.
Well, both of Virginia's candidates for governor are responding tonight. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Abigail Spanberger said, quote, "After learning of these comments earlier today, I spoke frankly with Jay about my disgust with what he had said and texted. I made clear to Jay that he must fully take responsibility for his words. What I have also made clear is that as a candidate and as the next governor of the Commonwealth, I will always condemn violent language in our politics." On X, the Republican gubernatorial candidate Winsome Earl Sears said, quote, "This is horrible to read and should be wholly disqualifying of someone running for an office that protects the people of Virginia. Jay Jones's horrific comments are a symptom of the entire Democratic Party, and his running mate, Abigail Spanberger, needs to call him to drop out." Attorney General Jason Miyares has served the people of Virginia with honor and dignity and will continue to do so come November. Jay Jones can never be Attorney General of Virginia.